What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Cage My IQ. As always, I'm your host, D-Big. Today, I will be previewing PFL 10 2021. This is the championship edition of PFL. We got 6 championship fights for you for each weight class. I can't wait to get into this action right now. But as always, I am the host of Cage My IQ, the best place for MMA content. All you gotta do is go to the socials to the left. We got Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch at the handles to the left. We are partnered with the Fighters First Network on YouTube. So if you could go to Fighters First on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell on there so you don't miss any of the content that we put out with for Cage My IQ. And as always, if you can, hit the like button on this video and leave us a comment on who you think is going to win on PFL 10 2021 on this Wednesday, coming up in a couple of days. And of course, we have merch out now at FightersFirst.shop. Just go to the link right there. Check out all of the collections that we have at your disposal on FightersFirst.shop. And of course, check out our own collection, the Cage My Q collection. All you gotta do is go to FightersFirst.shop, scroll down to the Cage My Q collection, and check out the shirt that we have in 3 different styles and the hoodie that we have out. And we're coming up with new ideas in the future, so check that out as well and let us know what you think of our products. But let's get started with the action that we have on here. The first fight that we have on this card, which I'm getting hyped for, is a matchup in the lightweight division between Loik Radzhabov, who is going up against Raush Manfio in the lightweight championship right here. This was kind of a little questionable for me because I think that Raush Manfio kind of got lucky getting into the finals. He had a split decision victory over Anthony Pettis, which I thought he won that. But then he had that split decision victory over Clay Carter, where I thought Clay Carter clearly won rounds 1 and 2, and then Manfio won round 3. But the judges saw it otherwise. But going into this fight, Manfio is going to be the guy that's going to be better on the feet. He's going to be better with the striking. But I feel like where the fight's going to be run is on the ground. I think Manfio is pretty decent with this wrestling, but I think Loik Radzhabov with the pressure and the wrestling and then the leg trips is going to be too much for Manfio. I think he's going to pressure forward. He's going to throw those overhand shots that he likes to throw from time to time, and he's just going to pressure Manfio to the back of the cage, and he's going to use the trips to get him down, and then he's going to control Manfio on the ground to keep him from doing a lot of what he does best with the striking and the combinations. And to keep this short with this fight, I got Loik Radzhabov winning the lightweight championship by unanimous decision victory. I got him 2 rounds to 1. I think he's going to win 1 and 2, and I think Manfio is going to go for broke round 3. He's going to win that. He's not going to get the knockout, but he's going to do just enough to win round 3. Yeah, so for the first fight on the PFL 10, I got Loik Radzhabov defeating Raush Manfio by unanimous decision victory to secure the lightweight championship. In the second fight on the championship card, I got Antonio Carlos Jr. versus Marthin Hamlet in the light heavyweight championship. Now, this is a fight where both guys come in with unique skill sets. I think Marthin Hamlet, kind of like Raush Manfio, he kind of got lucky making it to the finals because when he fought Cesar Ferrer, he kind of won in 5 seconds because Ferrer threw a leg kick and kind of hurt his leg right away and had to bow out of the fight right away. So Hamlet took no damage in that fight and kind of had to coast to the finals where Antonio Carlos Jr. was tested big time against defending champion Emiliano Sordi. They went at it for 3 rounds. It was a really good fight, and Carlos Jr. had just enough in the gas tank to pull ahead of Sordi because Sordi kind of got tired towards the end. But this is a fight where I think Hamlet's going to be the favorite on the feet because he has that boxing. He's pretty decent in the wrestling and on the ground and grappling. But I think what wins this for Antonio Carlos Jr. in my mind is he's good with grappling. He's good with that distance fighting. He has decent leg kicks, and then he can throw from as well. And I think what he's going to do is he's going to start off early. He's going to throw those leg kicks. He's going to get a feel for Hamlet. And then I feel like he's going to go into the grappling game, try and get the fight to the ground, use those elbows, use the knees to the groin, to the stomach. He's going to keep them gritty and just in your face. He's going to keep Hamlet from getting those combinations going, any of the striking going. And kind of like the first fight that I talked about, I think this fight is going to end in a unanimous decision victory by Antonio Carlos Jr. I think it's going to wind up being a really close fight. I think they're going to trade the first round and the second round because I think at some point Hamlet will be able to get the boxing going. He will be able to rack up the strikes in round 2. But in round 3, I think that's where the experience of Carlos Jr. is going to come into play. And I feel like he's going to pick up the victory by just controlling the fight in the ground round 3, just like he did in round 1. And that's going to secure the 2 rounds to 1 victory for him. And he's going to win the light heavyweight championship for this year's PFL. With the third fight on the card, we got a heavyweight championship matchup between Ante Delija versus Bruno Cappelozza. I think this is one of the easy picks to go for with this championship a week for PFL. You got Ante Delija, who's going to be more of the ground guy who's gritty. He likes to get up close, use a little bit of the sambo, get his fight to the ground, and throw here and there. Whereas Bruno, he's a striker. He knocks guys out. Most of his fights last just the first round. If it goes anything past that, he'll end it in the second round. And I think in this fight, it's going to be a little bit of that. He's going to throw those leg kicks a little early just to test out Delija to keep him grounded from trying to go for a takedown. And then I think he's going to swing for the fences and connect on one of those knockout shots. I think it's going to be hard for Delija to kind of watch out for him because Bruno has that height advantage and he has those long arms. He's able to cover a lot of distance with him. And at the end of the day, with this fight, I got a first round knockout for Bruno Cappelozza that's going to keep his undefeated streak this year alive, and then he's going to hoist the heavyweight championship in his favor with the $1 million. So once again, I got Bruno Cappelozza winning the heavyweight championship over Ante Delija by first round knockout. In the next fight on the card, we got a featherweight championship matchup between Movlid Khaybulaev versus Chris Wade. This is probably one of the most battle-tested matchups on this card. These guys both have a grappling, wrestling backgrounds, and they both have a great cardio for fights, in my opinion. And I feel like within this fight, it's going to be just a dog fight. You're going to have Chris Wade, who can throw. He's good at striking as wrestling, but I think he's going to be the guy that's going to want to keep it on the feet because Movlid Khaybulaev has that Habib style where he's going to use your backwards movement to against you, and he's going to use the sambo background to get his takedowns. And when he has you down, more than likely he's going to keep you down. Chris Wade might be a little bit better than his past opponents with defending it and trying to get back up, but for some reason he just does that really well. He gets a lot of control time. He likes to throw those overhand left and rights when he needs to attack you. He kind of uses that to kind of get you to duck or to move left or right, and then he changes levels, gets you against the cage, and just grinds you down. And I feel like in this matchup, I wanted to go Chris Wade. I think there was a chance that Chris Wade could win this fight, just doing what he did against Bubba Jenkins, because he was an underdog against Jenkins, and he destroyed Bubba Jenkins. But there's a difference between how Khaybulaev fights and how Jenkins fights, and I think Khaybulaev isn't taking Chris Wade lightly. He's game plan for him. He knows what he needs to do, and he's going to get out there. And I can honestly see Movlid Khaybulaev win by submission, and if not, then I think he wins by unanimous decision in this fight. I believe most of these fights are by 5 rounds. I've been thinking they're 3, but I think they're 5 rounds. So if they are, there's going to be a little bit more strategy in these fights. But I feel like he's going to try and I feel like Movlid's the type of guy that's going to go in right away, try and get 2 rounds under his belt, And then when he does that, he's going to try and coast and then save enough for round 5 to where he can seal the victory at the end of the day. But for this one, I got Magomedkerimov defeating Chris Wade by unanimous decision victory to hoist the Featherweight Championship in his corner. And I think it's going to be, I think Chris Wade will test him at several points in this fight. But unless Chris Wade can knock him out, I just don't see with the forward pressure that Khaybulaev uses that he can overpower him in the wrestling game. So once again, I got in this one, I got Khaybulaev by unanimous decision victory. In the next matchup on this card is co-main event even. We got the welterweight championship between Ray Cooper III versus Magomedkerimov, which is a rematch of the finals a couple years ago where Magomed defeated Ray Cooper in one of Cooper's only losses in the PFL. This is going to be very battle tested because I think a lot of people are going to be heavy on Magomedkerimov just because he has beaten Ray Cooper before. Yeah, he's a guy with the grappling background. He just latches onto you. He can get you down. He can throw strikes at you, but where he beats a lot of his opponents is the submission game. Like he knows how to lock in from anywhere, whereas Cooper's going to come in with that revenge factor. He's come and looked really good, like he's won all of his fights. He did have that point deduction in his last fight before the playoffs due to missing weight, but he should be in weight this time, just like he was against Roy McDonald. He's going to come in. He has a Hawaiian wrestling background. Plus, he uses boxing. Like you don't recognize how well he has it with the boxing and the wrestling, because usually what he does is he throws at you, and then he level changes, and he takes you down, and then he just keeps you down, or he uses that to get you to come back up, and then he comes at you swinging when you're trying to get up from getting taken down. He has a great awareness where he's at too, to where he can use each aspect within each other. And I feel like this is the perfect moment here for him to use the wrestling here, because I think he knows that Magomed's going to go for submissions. So I feel like he's going to try and use the wrestling to kind of set up the boxing. He's going to come in, shoot in, just kind of like just read where Magomed's going to be, and then he's going to kind of pull back and start throwing those combinations at Magomed. I think on the feet, Ray Cooper is going to be the favorite, whereas Magomed's going to be the favorite kind of on the ground because he can move around and use the transitions to his advantage. But I think this is going to be an all-out war where they're going to probably trade rounds up until the last round, and I think the one thing that I give the edge to Cooper is his boxing. I feel like he could knock out Magomed if he catches him right. And with that, I do think that it could be early, but I might be crazy for going out and saying this, but if it doesn't go the full distance because of that, I'm going to go with my gut here and say a second round knockout for Ray Cooper III. I feel like he's going to get a clear-cut shot at Magomed, who's going to try and level change and look for a submission. And I think Ray Cooper has done his homework and is very prepared for this. He is one of the best in PFL at what he does. He knows the format. He's won this already before. He's soft-spoken. He's very ready for this fight. He wants this. I think this is one of his most important fights in his career. I think he's going to come out. I think he's going to come in ready. I think he's going to put the pressure on Magomed, get him backing up, and I think he's going to use his boxing to his advantage, as you see here in the 5 rounds. And I think he's going to knock him out with a clear shot to the chin after level changing. He'll act like he's going for a takedown, then he's going to shoot up and throw the overhand shot to knock out Magomedkerimov. But once again, in this welterweight championship, in the co-main event of PFL 10, I got Ray Cooper III by second round knockout. In the main event of PFL 10 2021, we got a women's lightweight championship matchup between Kayla Harrison versus Taylor Guardado. This was one of the easiest game plans I had to decide this fight. Of course, you got Taylor Guardado, who's going to let the fight from a distance, use those leg kicks, use the striking. She's going to want to move around and keep Kayla Harrison from getting inside the pocket. She had trouble in the last fight, doing so against the late replacement, but she was able to pull out the victory because of using all that. But against the caliber of a grappler with the judo background and then the improved striking that Kayla Harrison has, I think Kayla is going to be too much for her, because I think the one thing she's going to be able to do that Taylor's not going to want to happen is closing the distance. Because once you close the distance, Kayla Harrison has that power. She has that forward pressure movement that you can use to get you down. She can take you down by wrestling. She can take you down by the judo throw. And then, of course, she has elite level submission game. And she has used the knockout in the past to beat people. And then of course, the ground and pound that she's used. But I think in this fight, she's going to get inside. She's going to take her down by using the forward motion, push her against the cage, get her down. And then with that, I think she's going to apply the pressure to Guardado. She's going to use the ground and pound to get to the back of Guardado. Guardado's going to, of course, try and get up, and that's where I got Kayla Harrison locking in the rear naked choke on her and winning by a first round submission via rear naked choke. I don't think this fight's going to go the distance. I don't even think it's going to get in the second round. I just think Kayla Harrison's on another level than majority of the fighters in women's MMA, minus a couple, of course, but she's going to be able to use the improved striking to get her into positions to get that takedown and to get that submission, because she's going to get Taylor Guardado to want to give up her back to get up, and then when she does that, that's when she's going to lock in the rear naked choke for the victory. And then the championship of women's lightweight for 2021 in PFL. And then maybe afterwards we see her test the market and possibly sign with UFC or Bellator. I'm leaning towards UFC because I want to see that Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes fight, and I want to see the UFC rebuild that featherweight division. I've said before, the perfect idea would be Harrison versus Nunes, and then to do an Ultimate Fighter season with the women's featherweight to restock that whole division, because that's the one division that is very light right there. But at the end of the day, just like I said in this matchup, I got Kayla Harrison defeating Taylor Guardado by the first round submission via rear naked choke. But that'll wrap things up for my PFL 10 2021 preview show here on Cage My IQ. You can check us out several times a week on the Fighters First Network, previewing UFC, PFL, Bellator, and then I usually do interviews from time to time as well. All you got to do is go to the Fighters First YouTube page, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and then don't forget to hit the like button on this video. I'd appreciate it a lot. And then leave a comment. Let me know who you think is going to win this Wednesday on PFL 10 2021. Give me any inside information you want to do. But as always, before I wrap up, get a shout out to our sponsor here, which is High Tide Herbal. I use promo code CageMyIQ10 at checkout to receive 10% off your next purchase. High Tide Herbal is a company owned by coaches and athletes who specialize in speedy recovery. Their products all have CBD oil in them, and the goal with HighTideHerbal.com is to help athletes recover from injury faster. So once again, that's High Tide Herbal. Use promo code CageMyIQ10 at checkout to receive 10% off your next purchase. But that'll wrap things up with this PFL 10 2021 preview show. I'm your host, D-Bake, and I will talk to you guys next time. But thank you for tuning in and supporting Cage My IQ. See you guys.